Story doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And that's why the beginning of the year, the first quarter, it's always one of the best time of the year to invest in crypto narrative. And we know that investing in crypto narrative is where you have the maximum chance to have your 10x and your 100x. This is really important to take care of this in the next coming days, because January is on average the one that's going to bring us the biggest performance. That's why I will show you my full simple plan that you can execute yourself that did more 10x than your Uncle Joe. By the way, welcome on Handsome Finance. Pour down your little matcha, because here we're going to explore what's happening on chain. Yes, the blockchain and the crypto ecosystem is an open ledger. You can see all the transactions, so we can know where's the smart money and we can know where the whales are buying. And that's how we can try to find better investments. Funny enough, you will see that you can replicate this plan in dating as well. And we have a problem right off the bat with 12,000 crypto. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to go through 12,000 crypto. I need a system that is going to help me to spot directly all the crypto I should follow. And hopefully we are 10 to 20 crypto maximum. But we know that we can group those crypto into categories. And today we have around 91 categories. I would say here we can zoom in at 75. So we have 75 narratives. From 12,000, we went to 75. Same as I say here. For example, if you move to a city and there is like 11 million people, you have that, it's like 5 million people that could be your potential partner. But you're going to be smarter than that. So you're going to target which area are going to match what you're looking for. For example, the fancy mall, if you look for certain categories. The Pilates studio, if you look for certain categories. A friend was asking me, like, because I don't use dating apps, I fucking hate that. It's too easy for me. It's like, it's not fun when you play dating apps and everyone say yes to you. Plus, it's not quality. You want quality. So he asked me, but like, for example, like where you can find potential partner that is smart. Well, if you want someone smart, go to the bookstore. Or go to events where smart people go, like talking challenge or whatever it is. But don't go to the fucking club, because that's not the wifey material you're looking for. Play smart, everything, make simple plan. And I really truly believe that the more simple you will make it, the more returns you will have and the more success you will have. Everyone wants to make it complicated, and that's the trap. So now, to trim down our narrative, we're going to hopefully go to one narrative or two narratives max. I have three different ways I will check, either with some data, Twitter, or some personal connections. Now, Twitter is going to be a piece of cake because I'm going to use the advanced search, I hate this. Anyway, I'm going to use this search on Twitter, and I will have we're going to dive in later on about the narrative, the crypto narrative, and everything else. By the way, you can use this technique for everything in Twitter, and you will see that you will need to know how to search with Twitter later on with our strategy. Because let's not forget that I am French, so I am lazy, or maybe I am lazy because I'm French. I don't know which one comes in first, but my goal is going to be to transform this portfolio where I'm going to put more money in, and you will see everything in public, by the way. So I will put 10K on it, and my goal is to bring it to 100K in the next 3 months. I think it's possible with the conditions we have on the market now. There's a higher chance that I fail, and that's normal, but I have other strategies, and I proved on previous videos that we made insane returns already, and it always depends. For example, 10K is not a big sum of money for me, so I can allow myself to kind of gamble it or to take more risk with it. And 100K would be something that I'm interested in. But now, of course, I would not invest 100K the same way I invest 10K. And before checking the data, what's happening on chain, because that's my favorite part, let's check what's popping on Twitter and some posts I find around narratives that are pretty interesting. So this one is going to talk about the DeSci. So we talked about it before. It's decentralized science. Of course, we get the tweet from CZ. Then we get the DePIN stand for decentralized physical infrastructure. It's not one of my favorite ones, but I don't care. I don't put my feelings into crypto. Like, I remember when I talked about Toshi, they did more than 10x, by the way, at the beginning. One of the people was like, oh no, I love Toshi. I told him, no, mate, like, you don't put any feelings into it. It's not a relationship. Just make your money and go away with it. The ROI, real world assets, which is traditional finance, bring on to the DeFi. And then we got AI, of course, that's another big narrative, the GameFi, nothing new here, and the BRC20. We could have found this ourselves because we know those categories. Some people would prefer actually to check what's popping in the last 7 days on all those narratives, but you can see that some group are like Chain GPT pad. It's a bit of a weird category, but maybe it's going to be a big one. We don't know. We just dig in. And I hope you are taking notes because we are diving into our second sample of the narrative from Twitter. And this is from the DeFi Queen, which is probably just an AI generated by a guy who is 18 years old living in the basement of his grandma. We don't know. But here, what we got, the real world assets, okay. Then decentralized science, okay. With the same screenshot of Twitter CZ. I don't know which one posted first. I don't care at all. BRC20, okay. Original. Then we got AI, okay, original. Deepin, okay, original. And what else? GameFi. Oh, wow. That's a wrap. That's it. So we saw exactly the same narrative in both of them. Now, maybe they are both right. I don't care. I'm not the one to judge. Who am I to judge, actually, huh? Who am I to judge? For the personal one, it's going to be in which group you are, or if you are connected to some influential people in crypto. They know a lot of stuff and they share some data. So we can have an example here. It's going to be based on my own things. Then we saw the Twitter one. And now the third one that we will see is based on data. Before diving into the data, we can see this post, which is about the LSD, liquid staking decentralized finance. Is so complicated as a name. And we have a narrative that gave birth to another one, which is restaking. And that's why it's going to be interesting, because when you're going to dig down into a narrative, you're going to see that that big narrative has sub-narrative. And this is where you can check to get your other crypto. But now let's dive into the data. And what's better to study those narratives than to check their month-to-date performance so you can have an idea of what's going on now, because you want to follow the trend. As the trend is your friend until it's not. It's so easy to follow a trend. Everyone's going to be jumping on it. At some point, the trend's going to reverse and you get out at that point. Easier said than done. And what I would try to do personally here is to check for each narrative which one have a pop already or that had some pop recently. Why do I want to do that? Because I believe in the effect of momentum, and I believe that if someone was an outlier at the key point of the market, is going to be an outlier again later on the market. It's something that we saw a lot in crypto. And you can see it actually here. We have LSDL2 that's been popping, and now it's one of the top one as well, LSD. What I'm trying to say here is what popped here have more chance to be popping now here. Because of course, when it's bull market, you can see that most of the narratives are up, like everything's going to be crazy up. This actually could be a good and interesting indicator of when to get out. Now, the top 6 narrative in the last 3 months were decentralized science, Telegram bots, memes, real world assets, L2, and oracles. That's based on data. So they had the most gains. So you could focus on those. Now, decentralized science is a bit a special one because we had an explosion, a really brief, and we can see that the volume of those coins is really thin. The good thing is now that I have my narrative, for example, I would get only 3 crypto to follow. Plus, if you check the market cap of all the coins in decentralized science, you can see that most of them have a fairly low market cap. Which brings us to when we have our narrative, for example, here, decentralized science, we want all the coins that have a market cap that is below 500 million, because we are looking here for a lot of risk, a potential to lose all our money, but we are looking for the upsides. And I can see only one coin have a market cap above 100 million. Then all the rest is below 100 million. So most of the people should check around 500 million. I like risk, and I have been in crypto for a while, so I will allow myself to go for the crypto that are below 100 million market cap. And then my next step will be to check for all those coins, where is the smart money, and are they investing in those coins, or they are getting out? Do we have the coins are backed by some big venture capitalists. And of course, can I get some insider information, which is the harder thing to get, but it's the thing that's going to pay you the most. So that's why a lot of people, we try to connect with the creators of a project, with some developers, so they can have some insiders information and know what's happening before. Let's check, for example, a hair or Genie. For hair, I can see a really small number of smart money in it. I'm using Nonsense, which is really expensive. It's honestly nonsense that it's that expensive, but I don't know. They managed to make sales, so good for them. And I can see here, okay, we only have 5 people from the smart money using it. So I will check for other coins. My goal at the beginning is really to trim down, to remove as much as I can from it. We get Genie here. That's a little bit better. You see, I see plus 25K in smart money. I like to see that. When I'm going to check the data, okay, that goes back pretty far. And now it's getting back up. So I will try to as well find the coins that made a boom in those narrative. And then when I have that, I'm going to check who are the bigger holders of it. Plus, I'm going to check who made a lot of money with it. And that's going to be really helpful because I will know that probably that person might be really deep into that narrative. So when I find the address, then if you saw the other videos, I will check everything. To find that, it might be a bit time consuming, but I will check all the big holders, what's their move. And for example, in just 5 minutes, I found this address that have 700 and a lot into Genie. So we have 300K here, plus a little bit of Genome DAO here. And when you check when he bought and sell, you can see that he bought at the right time, sold at different timing as well. Is going up, I take profit. Now I can see burn, so I don't know exactly did he burn or sell. I will have to dig in deeper, but I can see that he's buying here again at the bottom. And then we have some Genie here. That's really interesting. And as soon as he made money, he sold it. So he got back this. Then he received some, so maybe it was airdrop, maybe it's because he's stacking it, I don't know. But he bought some again and sold it. You can see that they go a lot more into like, all right, I make money, I'm selling some. I make money, I'm selling some. No one who is a good investor is going to stay all the way long and be the Dogecoin guy. And just before I give you another way to go deep into those narratives, the good areas, if you're looking at Bangkok, it's around here, and then we have that one a little bit, but here. I feel like I had to close the loop, you know. The crazy thing about that wallet, it's also made a really good move on AI with receiving here, tons of it, and it went berserk up, and then we sold some. So again, a lot of profits were made here. And that's what I want to do. But once you get your narrative, you get 2 things to do. First is to surround yourself with other people that are going to study other narratives. It can be your mates, or for example, in the investors boardroom, we are testing this now, where we're going to have some group of people with the good knowledge that are going to go deep down into analyzing those. For example, now I find one wallet in 5-10 minutes. But can you imagine if we have 5-6 people who are doing the same things? Then we can gather those information and having something so much better. And then you connect to other groups that are going to study other narratives. So like this, you can take the top coins of each. And that would be a really interesting thing. The second thing I would do is to get as close as possible to the information, to get those insider information. And for this, there is nothing better to study all the people that like politics and things like that. We're going to create an echo chamber. So we are going to create a new Twitter account. It's really easy on your mobile. And then with that account, you are going to follow the top project, then all the people working on those projects. And naturally, the algorithm of Twitter is going to show you only content about this. So like this, you will have a level of information that is much higher than the market in general. And maybe you can connect with those people. Of course, use your other accounts. And like this, they're going to be, oh, that's a real person. And then, for example, a developer that has 500 followers is going to be maybe really happy to talk with someone and to see someone that is really interested by what he's doing. And I saw some guys in the investors boardroom doing it. and I have tons of information, like people being a nobody, and they just manage to talk with like really high profile. And that's what I think is really important. And that's why I will do this. Now, if you want to check also where you could find those 100x and things like that, you can check this video because you will see another way to analyze it. But now you have to let me know in the comments which narrative are you going to get into. Anyways, it was a pleasure. And of course, you could leave a thumbs up. I didn't say you could click subscribe. But more important than all that, stay handsome. Ciao.